So, you must think that patch 1.4 lacks new content and you're bored of the game. But, what if I told you there was a very good reason why the game's brand new content is being stifled? Well, actually there's 3 of them. But here's reason number 1. File size. This game will one day have 7 worlds. It's going to be gigantic. The developers are trying to pace the rate at which assets get thrown at us players because keep in mind, this is also a mobile game. Right now, this game is 11 gigabytes on mobile. Sure, some newer phones can hold 10, 20 times that amount of storage, but they're catering to as many different phones as they possibly can before the game gets too big. I played a game that hit 250 gigabytes by the end of its life cycle. I don't think any of you want that. What's up, ladies and gents? My name is Self, and today will be yet another hot takes video. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. A lot of you are going to massively disagree with what I say. Maybe you even have already, and that's completely fine. The dislike button is not a disagree button, but if you feel the need to click it today, then you do you, fam. Or you can be awesome and smash that like button. All of the topics that I want to discuss were too long to make one giant video, so I'll just be dividing it up into a 4-part miniseries. I don't think anyone in 2021 has the time to sit down for 4 hours and watch something. I'm looking at you, Zack Snyder. The goal will be to bring to light some hot topic issues that I've seen with the community and spark a greater constructive discussion on either bringing awareness or possible solutions in an attempt to be more constructive and make the game a better place. Disagreements are fine, but please be mindful and respectful to others. We are not out for drama. The goal is to make Genshin the best possible game it can be for the foreseeable future. And I know that I alone cannot do it. That's why I need your guys' help. Today's video was inspired by all of the comments and sentiments from people on all social media platforms saying that 1.4 is too stale and there's not enough content in the game. I will be going over reasons why Genshin's content is not being pumped out as fast as some people want, and hopefully those of you displeased with 1.4 can at least understand why Mihoyo is going at the pace that they are by the end of this video. Alright, so back to the other 2 reasons why the new content is arriving at a slow pace. Number 2, it takes a lot of time to create new content. These are giant teams of people that go through a top-down process for characters, design, and gameplay. They have to internally test new content areas. All the ideas, models, sounds, and so on have to go through so many eyes to make sure that it looks the best before it's sent out for beta testing. Also, to those saying that they have over 1,000 employees, it should be easy to do. It doesn't matter how many employees you have. There's different branches and sectors of the company. More employees doesn't necessarily mean faster content. In fact, having too many people can actually slow down progress as well. I'm sure plenty of you have done group projects with 10 plus people and know just how bad it can really get when you're working with that many people together. I get that some of you guys are disappointed that there's no new domains, story quests, or really any new endgame content for that matter. But Mihoyo is still working on new stuff for you guys all the time. They've even teased some stuff themselves months ago that hasn't even happened yet, so we still have that to look forward to. This stuff doesn't happen in 6 weeks and get released. It takes months of development hell. Give it time and let them perfect the content before it drops. And one more thing, you guys are concerned there's no new content, but I'm concerned there's been no update regarding the Nintendo Switch port. The tease announcement was over a year ago and we still haven't even gotten a single word on the status of that. And finally, the biggest issue and the reason that I wanted to make this video for. Here is the brutal and honest truth, guys. Even though Genshin Impact is a gacha game that was designed for multiple gaming demographics, at the end of the day, Genshin Impact is a casual mobile game that was created for the everyday casual gamer. These are often people who might play regularly but don't necessarily play every day, and they play the game for fun in their free time when they aren't busy with everyday obligations. This game will often be people's 6th, 7th, or even 8th option on their list of things to do for the day. People come from a wide range of backgrounds. Some go to school, some work, some have kids to take care of, and some do all 3 of the above. It is legitimately hard for some of these people to find large chunks of free time to play games, and they might not necessarily have the luxury of playing for hours like you or I do. These are people who are discovering Liyue for the first time today, or learning that Dragon Spine exists. They're going to have cap resin a good amount of the time, and there's a lot of people like this that make up the player base. Genshin was originally created and marketed as a mobile game, but over time was implemented to include console and PC, and in the future even more platforms. you can tell that the game was created to be the ultimate cross-genre hybrid from all of the elements it has incorporated from all sorts of games. This is how the game was able to attract such a wide audience. You have Nintendo fans that came over to try it because it resembles Breath of the Wild, gacha gamers, players who came from a wide variety of heavily grind-based games, countless other examples. They wanted this game to encompass a wide variety of genres in its gameplay and look to attract as many new eyes over. And guess what? It worked. Genshin has, and still does, attract new fans from all over the gaming spectrum, to this day. But you have to realize that at its core, the game was made for an extremely casual audience. There's a lot of people who have a general idea of who they think plays the game, but in reality, no one really does. We just have biases of who we think plays the game. The majority of Genshin players more than likely do not follow any Genshin YouTubers or even know about the Genshin Impact social media accounts. They play the game on their own and like to experience the game as it comes. There's someone out there who's running a main DPS Barbara with support Hu Tao, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're just out to have some fun in their free time. So the next time you want to clown on Mihoyo on Reddit, Twitter, or even YouTube comments, I want you to please keep in mind that Mihoyo is trying to keep the vested interest of players from all walks of life. They are trying not to introduce too much content to overwhelm these players. Can you imagine how they would feel if there was several limited time minigame event rewards, weapons, limited time domains, and several limited time bosses to fight all at the same time, all in a 2-week span to do everything and collect all those rewards? There's no way they could do all this playing only an hour a day if they do. There's so many players who don't know about or use Reddit. Tons of players who don't even know about all the content on YouTube. They just play the game on their phone at the end of the day in their spare time and chill. And they are perfectly happy in doing so. If you are really starting to feel burnt out from the lack of Genshin content, my suggestion would be to start pacing yourself as you play the game from now on. You don't necessarily have to play that new story quest when it comes out. You don't necessarily have to grind for hours every day. You could start by cutting your grinding down to bare minimum of dailies and resin usage. Maybe you already have. The game was designed to and will wait for you. There is no rush. Events are a week to 2 weeks long, and sometimes they don't even really have rewards that you might want. The more you pace yourself, the less likely you are to burn out. And there's a plethora of other activities you can do in the meantime when you're not playing Genshin. There's a ton of fantastic games out there. If you love story-based games, I highly recommend both the Danganronpa and Ace Attorney series. There's also a considerable amount of free-to-play games if you're not a fan of paid options. Both Steam and the app stores have filters strictly for free-to-play. You could also take up a new hobby, learn a new skill, or even do something like exercise. Genshin doesn't have to be the only thing you grind or play every day, and I don't think it was ever intended to be that way. But if you're still addicted to this game, then you keep doing what you're doing. You go, Glen Coco. In the end, all of these reasons make for the perfect storm of Mihoyo slowly rolling out the brand new content for players over time. You might not agree or like it, but Mihoyo has planned out for the game to be this way. They aren't lazy or not listening to you. In fact, they do listen to player feedback sometimes, because if you noticed, Dragonspine gave out a lot more Primo Gems than the 1.0 exploration areas. But now it's dead, and that's an issue for a different video. If you feel that the game can be improved, then please do the surveys that Mihoyo gives out at the end of every patch. When they ask for suggestions, write down everything you can think of, and if enough people echo your thoughts, then they'll end up changing something in the future to reflect what everybody wants. You can still have discussions on Reddit and YouTube, but just do so in a nice and constructive manner. Don't demand new content and flame others in the process. You won't get anyone to listen to you if you do that. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for taking the time to listen through. I hope that you can understand where I and others are coming from. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, feel free to subscribe so you can be tuned in to the other parts of this mini-series where I talk about other major hot topics in Genshin and how hopefully we can make this game a better experience for everyone. Until next time, my name is Sylph, and you all have a fantastic day. Peace out, everyone.